Hey guys, thanks for checking into our video. This one, we're heading up to Seaforth. Along the way we end up with a little bit of engine trouble. We do manage to get around that. It's not an easy fix, but with the tools that we had, a little bit of leftover bits and pieces, just happened to have the right tools. I did actually leave my tools at home, but still had just enough tools to get us out of trouble. Head up to Seaforth, have a really relaxing time, walk out to the islands out there, and on the way back check out some of the sights along the way. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, check this out. This is where we stayed last night. We're just on the side of the road by the airstrip in Childers. It's just a nice little road. You can hear the traffic at the highway up there, but it's really foggy. And we had a really awesome sleep. There's some really big kangaroos around here. So who needs to pay for staying in a caravan park when you can wake up here? Why would you? We've also got the bike racks on. This is the first time we've had our bikes on the front of the van, and it was pretty interesting getting them up there. I guess we'll get used to it, unless the van needs it clean. It's still got poo on it from when we were out last time. I'll have to sort that out. But how cool is this? That's your one.
The top one?
Yep.
Awesome, thank you.
You ready, Gypsy? Hey, my coffee. Are you alright? Alright, we've cut our holiday short. We've just got engine light come on, and we did actually pull up just up the road and have a quick look under the bonnet. It looks like one of the injectors is leaking or something, but we're going to have a bit of a look. Open the bonnet, caravan's open, you get to have a bit of a relax, and I get to play in boy zone under the bonnet. Yeah, I'll get it going. So it is this injector right down the back here. It's leaking. I don't know what's going on. It's not leaking fuel. It's leaking combustion, like right down in the bottom of the injector tube. So I'll leave the bonnet open, let it cool down, maybe get the drone out, have a bit of a fly around and see what's around here, and have a bit of a relax. So this is, I've had a look, and it's way too hot to get into. It's still, you can't hold your hand on it, but it's definitely that back injector that's leaking. I have had that before. On this side, right at the back, that one there, it leaked, and that was when we were away last year. And now a year later, it's the other side. This side, this one here, right at the back. You gotta be kidding me. So far I've got the bleed rail for the injectors out, got the wiring out, I've got the injector line out itself over there, and now there's a couple of bolts down in here. There's the one down in there. I'm gonna pull them out, have a bit of a look at them, and then see if I can't wriggle that injector out and see what's going on. And fingers crossed that something we can do with it. So we use the hammer backwards like this. I don't want to come into the bonnet, but I don't think it's going to come out that easily. So weight on that. Just it's not coming that easily. Or is it? Is that moving? I don't think so. It's hard to tell. Maybe. No, we've got plenty of time. Hold that in there. Maybe, oh, I'll tape that on there. Can't jump off on that. So, 3, just push it back towards the car. Okay.
Where is it going?
Right here. Towards you, there's like a bag there for the back. Yep, perfect. There we go. That's what you do on the side of the road.
Yes, it does.
Good job, baby. Rightio. Well, the bonnet was in the way, and I just thought I'd pull the bonnet off. It's not in the way now. All right, we're cooking. It has moved a little bit. So we've lifted about maybe 5 mil, and this is going to be in the way. So I'm just going to take this off. Like I said, I've got coolant here. I can't believe I got coolant here. So fingers crossed that I can get that the rest of the way out. I'm feeling pretty confident. I'll just get this out of the way and go from there. Let's see what happens. Yep, here we go. Yep. Okay, the ejector line's touching there. Okay, we're good. That's loose. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's very good. Okay, so it's blowing that O-ring up there. Well, that won't be going back on. We'll give that a clean up. I'll get my torch and have a look down in there. There's supposed to be a copper gasket washer down in there. That's going to be the next thing, but we can work something out. So the injector is out. That is 100% magnificent. I'm going to get a torch and have a look down in the hole. How good is that? All right, so I've been fishing out the copper washer that was leaking. That's what's actually been leaking down in that hole down in there, and that sits at the bottom of the injector. That sits there like that and seals the combustion chamber, and it's pretty munted. It's not really looking, it's not got these lugs, and they are made out of copper, and what I'm thinking I could do is get something like that, and maybe not that size. What's that? That's a 8 mil, maybe a 10 mil. Yeah, that's got the right size hole. So I'm thinking what I might do is just cut that off there and then round the corners enough so that that'll go back down in the hole, and then we have ourselves a copper washer. I put the old washer, I bolted them together, and I've got the new washer that I'm making behind the old one, so I can see that it's just sticking out there. And what I'm going to do is put in the drill and just spin it around and hold the grinder just close enough to it so that I can kind of machine it exactly round. I just put a socket down in tube and it's got to be exactly round, so let's give this a go. Put this new washer on here, put it down in there and get some oil, put it on that and get it down in there. Yeah, we're into it. Nicely sitting back in there. No, it didn't take any force or anything to get that back in there, which is promising. So I'm going to put those screws back, or bolts back in, and get it all back together. And fingers crossed, we're back on the road again. Yeah, I'm feeling confident. Rightio, so I've got that back in there, I've tightened it down. I'm going to put the injector tube back on. There's a bit of shit in there, I don't like the look of that. So I might even... Oh, it'll be alright. Oh, will it be? Maybe I should just... I'll turn it on and crank it over just a little. Might hook the injectors up, leave that one off. Ah, bugger it. I'll put the coolant hose on. Actually, yeah, I'll put all the wiring on, the bleed hose back on, and then I'll just start it up and let a bit of diesel come out of there, just so that if there's any shit in there, it kind of comes out. We don't want that going into the injectors. Alright, cool. I'll just put the fuel line back on. Injector is back in. Got the electricals hooked up. Got the bleed rail hooked up. Return fuel line. Coolant hose hooked up. I may have to top up the coolant, but I'm going to go and start it, and I'm feeling like it's going to be okay. But let's give it a go. We just don't want to hear any ticking, and it'll be good. Alright, here we go. Okay, well, it's running. Sounds good. Yep. That's what a diesel sounds like when it's running. Yeah, we're on again. Get the bonnet back on. We can hit the road again. Let's have a look, make sure it's not leaking. No, looking pretty good. I might give that a wash down with the hose. We've got a bit of diesel come out of there, but it sounds like we're back on the road again. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, we're on. Well, we did it with a little bit of cable, a couple of spanners, random spanners, and the end of a electrical lug. I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm going to leave it in there and just see how it goes. And I'm going to keep my injector removal tool. That's going to go in somewhere in the car. And yeah, let's get this back together and hit the road. I'll go and tell the girl. Yeah.
Yay!
Gypsy, high five. Give me a high five. No, you don't want to lick engine stuff. All right, I'll give you a pat. There you go. You won't see any black on you anyway. All right, give it 5 minutes and come out and give us a hand to put the bonnet on.
Okay, you're awesome, baby.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
we're on.
MacGyvered it.
Yep, we've done it. Pretty cool. Chris and Erika's Adventures, and we are on our sneaky little anniversary weekend away.
Well, a week away.
And it's going magnificently. It's not going magnificently. We had a breakdown driving along, felt a little bit of a misfire, look down, the red light comes on. It's a great feeling, especially when you have a Range Rover. You should be used to it. I should be used to it.
And it's just funny how exactly like last year when we took off, the same thing happened to us. It started doing
It did exactly the same
exactly
thing.
the same thing.
About the same. It was nearly the same time. No, it was a bit earlier. But the same thing happened. Misfire, lost power, the light comes on. Started to go, okay, this isn't good. And I've got an onboard computer that I can plug in. Goes into the OBD2 connector, and I just went, we'll just clear that. That'll be all right. And think, yep, cleared it. Kept going. About another kilometre or two down the road, and yeah, the light comes on again. That was when we were heading out to Chinchilla, and we weren't planning on staying there a long time, but we did, and we fixed that up. That was the injector had the seat around the bottom of the injector had let go, and all the combustion gas. And it's funny because we were driving along, and I remember we both sort of looked at each other and went, "What's that smell like?" And it was sort of burning your eyes. It wasn't good. It was like real. It was like the exhaust fumes were coming inside. You remember that, eh?
That was like the last year.
Last time.
The last time. So then, when it happened yesterday, it was like, okay, let's just pull over. We kept calm. We just went with it. We found a good spot. Luckily, we had just passed a spot, so we turned around and went back.
Yeah, we just said, oh, look at that spot in there. We'll have to remember that on the way back because it's a really big gravel. Well, you'll see anyway, but big gravel area.
So we've pulled up and bonnet up, and he started working on it. So, we just ran with it. I just came in and just, I'm doing a course, so I just sat there on my computer quietly doing my course while Chris was working away on the car. And till he came in and said, "Babe, can you help me lift the bonnet off?"
Yeah, the bonnet had to come off. This injector wouldn't come out, so I had to make up this dodgy injector removing tool with the things that I've got there. And it's surprising what you can do with not a lot when you have to. And I got it out.
So 4 hours later, he came inside all happy. Let's put the bonnet back on. Bonnet goes back on. He was so happy. So we got ourselves organised again, and he got cleaned up, packed everything away, and we're on the road again. So taking off, destination unknown. Where are we going, babe?
Yeah, I'm not telling you. You're not going to get it out of me yet.
So since we planned this, Chris planned this holiday, I have no idea where we're going.
Well, we're heading north. That's all she knows.
That's all I know. And there's going to be a beach.
Yeah, there's going to be a beach that Gypsy can be able to run around on. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much because she's testing me. And it's not going to work. But anyway, so after we got the car going, got down the road, and that's where we are right now, just down the road.
Literally, like, probably...
Maybe a kilometre or two.
No, not even that. Like, literally, we took off and we were 2 minutes on the road when it went again. Something else went from that. It was a different one.
Just lost power. It just went, it wouldn't, no power. It just died. It'd idle, but it wouldn't accelerate at all. So we're at the top of a hill. Like if we had just a little bit more speed, we would have come down the other side. But we didn't. We're on the side of the road, and it's just, I don't like being on the side of the road. I don't know anyone that likes being on the side of the road. Not with trucks, road trains going past.
And no one slows down.
No, and for some reason it just feels like it's busier. But when you are on the side of the road, it's like everyone goes, oh, they're on the side of the road. Let's drive past them and really get as close as we can to them and shake the car. So you're working under the bonnet doing stuff, and the car's moving around, the van's moving, and all you're thinking is, all right, let's get this going, get it off the road. So that's what I did anyway. Opened the bonnet, fuel was going everywhere. I think that even though I was being careful, one of the O-rings got pinched, or I didn't put the connector on properly, and it popped off, and fuel just went everywhere. And I'm happy that it didn't catch on fire. It's always a concern because it sprayed all over the exhaust.
Yeah.
And I know that you took a photo of that, and there was smoke going everywhere. And anyway, so I put it back on. We went down the other side, so we just crept up over the hill and found a little parking spot and kind of put it back together enough, and I thought was going to get us out of trouble. But as soon as we took off, it all took off beautifully, and then it started misfiring.
Again.
And when it started misfiring, it just lost power again. It was still drivable. You could do 50 k's an hour, but anyway.
So that was the third thing. So the third time.
Actually, that was the third time.
So that's the third time. So currently, we decided to stay here the night on the side of the road. Where we are, we're off in a little. Is it a gravel pit or is it?
It's a gravel pit.
It's a gravel pit. So it's great spot. Like, we're in a great spot again to stop.
It's a bit noisier though. Like,
it is a little bit noisy, but we're off the road. We're completely off the road, so we're completely safe. It's been a bit challenging. I rang all of the service stations that are. The next town is about 18 kilometres down the road.
We could get on the bikes, but no. I just don't feel comfortable riding a bike down the side of the highway. That's just, when you see people doing it, and it's all good, you can move off the road and kind of go around them, but if someone's coming the other way, and it's not good. If you had to do it. But
today is Sunday, so there's nothing open anyway. On a Sunday in a little town, there's nothing open.
No. So we're just going to sit here. I'm going to go out there and make an attempt to do something. I don't know what. Maybe pull some windscreen washer bottle bits of hose off or something. I don't know. But I'm going to give it a go. Last night I tried to make an O-ring. I'm going to do the same thing again today. I'll try and get some photos or something of that, but if I can get it going and it doesn't leak, we're going to keep going to where we were originally going to go, but I might add a stop in to get the right part so that when we are pulled up, I can fix it properly. But that's my goal, is to get it going, to get us out of here, to keep going on our holiday. And this is just what it's like. I've seen other people go through things like this, and it's just what happens. You just have to deal with it. You can't change it.
It's a bit disheartening. However,
we'll get it going.
We'll get it going. I live with MacGyver.
Lucky you.
Mark II. So he will definitely. I have full confidence. We had we got to pull these little tokens the other day that I had, and Chris's was keep going. So he's got that in the forefront of his mind, and mine is enjoy the little things. So we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep enjoying every moment. Where we are is where we're meant to be.
Well, it's not too bad. We've got everything here.
Exactly.
We can go. We'll probably find a bushwalk or something. We'll go for a little walk around. It'd be better to get the car going, but if we can't, then
we'll assess
Monday,
it a little bit later.
Yeah,
Yep, we'll assess it. I'm fully confident that today you're going to get something.
It'll get going to the point where we can move. I'm pretty confident about that.
Yeah, because even just getting into the next town is even helpful to be in the next town. So we can move around a little bit more, than being just in a gravel pit on the side of the road. Though this is completely fine, like you said, I'm sure there's a walking track somewhere that we can go. But, you know, we're in comfort here. We've got the caravan, we've got everything we need.
Yeah,
we've got plenty of food.
Oh, speaking of food, I'm going to get some food out.
What are we going to have for lunch?
I don't know. It's barra with some mashed potato-y things and capers, and I don't know. I'll just mix something up. It'll be fun.
So our holiday's off to a great start. Even though we've had a few handbrakes, 3 handbrakes.
3 handbrakes
have been turned on in the last 72 hours, I'd say, since we started, you know, on this adventure. But it's all an adventure, so, you know, every day is an adventure, and I'm happy just to be out on the road again and be here together with you and our companion Gypsy.
Yeah,
we've got her,
Gypsy.
She's sleeping
She's
under
down
the
there.
table. So, like, I'm just excited anyway to be out here.
Where is she? Is that her in there?
Oh, she's probably under the blanket.
Oh, wow. Oh, her head's out. Okay. She
she's
can
got
see
her
what's
head out.
going on.
So, you know, it's all exciting. It's all part of it. We're watching some YouTube videos last night on, we follow Lil and Jake, and there was the Fire Over Fork as well. And, you know, we watched them have a few challenges between their cars and...
Yeah, there's always something.
There's always
that's what you
something.
go out for. It's
Yeah, that's just...
you go out and
what
have an
happens.
adventure, and you know, in a month's time, 6 months' time, a year, you'll look back and go like what we just did there about the same thing happening. You just go, yeah, I remember that, and
Yeah.
it was fun. Like this is what it's about. So,
Yeah. We're trying to work through this and get it working ourselves without having to either get the car towed or
yeah, we don't do
get,
car
or get,
towing.
get try and hire a car or a taxi to get somewhere.
Yeah, it is one of the things with having that Land Rover that you don't walk into Repco or any of the parts suppliers and say, I'll just have a injector for a Land Rover. They look at you and go, yeah, okay. Who are you? What are you? Why have you got one of them? All right. But anyway, I love it. They're one of the things that I was passionate about. I love my car. Anyway, that's...
So yeah, so currently we are stopped
in a gravel pit between Miriam Vale and the last town that we were at.
Gin
whatever
Gin?
it was. Oh yeah, Gin
Between
Gin.
Gin Gin and Miriam Vale, that's where we currently are and have been for the past 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So watch this space for an update to see if we get the car going or if we're spending our annual holidays in a gravel pit on the side of the road with nothing around.
Lucky you. I know how to show a girl a good time. All right, on that note, I'm going to get out there,
Yep.
try and get this thing going and see where we end up.
Yep, and I'll get back to my studies.
Righto.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. We're out of here.
We're out of here.
Rightio. All right, so here we are. This is the O-ring that has caused so much drama. So if you have a look at it, it's a bit hard to see, but just on this edge here, there's a little bit of just the corner of it. It's not even broken. It's just got like a little bit missing, which is, you know, with a fuel leak, definitely too much. So I've got them both off. This one here is the one that I made an O-ring for last night, and it's a bit fatter. I might pull it off and see if I can make 2 small ones. Now, I don't have O-rings obviously, so what I've found is that there's actually an O-ring inside my tyre deflator, just inside there, and I'm going to fish that out, and then I'm going to cut it I do have a razor around here somewhere. Oh, that's right, I put it under the floor mat, but I'm going to have to make a little O-ring like that, and this is a little bit bigger, but I might be able to cut it, and it'll leak, but it won't leak as much as that. That was probably leaking maybe one drip every second or two, and when it does do that, it runs straight from there down onto the exhaust, and we don't want that. That's not, I don't want a fire. The last thing I want to do is have a fire. So I've got myself a nice clean floor, but the razor, I'll put that there, and I'm going to try and make some O-rings and get us down the road. Erika's done a good job. She's found a servo down the road, and they've been video chatting and they found O-rings, and even though it's day, I can't see down in there. Glasses are great. When you have to wear glasses, it's not fun. But anyway, I'm going to make some O-rings. I'll see if I can get this set up so that you can see what's going on there, and hopefully get us down the road. We've only got to get 15 minutes down the road. And all right, so here we go. I'll fish this out of here with a toothpick. Let's try and get behind that. Really need like a O-ring pick would be ideal. That didn't work. The old toothpick doesn't like that. I'll just sharpen it up. Should be a bit better. Just try and fish that out of there. I'm trying to get on the back edge of it so that it pushes it in. There it is there. There we go. Alright, so we got that out, and it's quite a lot. Yeah, that nearly fits inside that, so there's quite a lot of difference in size, but I've got heaps of these deflators, so we can always just replace that O-ring. That's easy. So I'm gonna have to make that, and the cross section looks pretty good, so I'm just going to put a little cut in that nice and square there, and then I'll squeeze it in on itself. It's like being a watchmaker, but if I curl that up, wow, that is small, isn't it? It nearly needs to be about that size there. So if I cut that out about, I'm going to go there because it's easier to cut a piece off. So I've just cut that so it's in two pieces. So now I've got myself a little smiley going on there. I'll just try and push those two together. Let's see what size we end up with. Oh, that might be actually a little bit small. Okay, I might have cut too much out. Oops. Okay, I thought I was cutting. So here we go. Got another one. We've still got another 3 in there, but I've still got to make 2. Let's try and fish this one out. I thought I was cutting not enough out. Alright, there we go. There's another one. So we've got 2 left in there. Let's not cut that much out. So I cut that much out of the last one. I'm going to cut less out. So I'm going to do the same thing, do a cut there. And I'm just going to take out half of what I did there. So maybe about there. Let's see how that closes up. Yeah, it's probably a little bit big. I'm just looking at it there. and it needs to close up a bit more, so I'll go just trim a little bit more off. Didn't quite cut through. Okay, that's probably still a little bit big. Just cut a little bit more out. I've got to do this twice. Hopefully I can get it on without it pulling apart. Alright. That's looking, it actually still looks a bit big. I'm just going to go a little bit more, because otherwise you can't get the little plastic connector on because it's too big. It's already hard to get on there. Alright, that actually looks a bit hard for me to show you, but that's looking good. Alright, so just going to use the battery box again like I did last night. I just put a little bit of super glue there. I can live with a little bit of a reminder that this happened, and that's evidence of what it was like. Nice little memento there. Bit of super glue on the battery box. Now the hard thing is going to be getting that to sit together. How do I do that? Alright, I need something little. Maybe I'll put a bit of super glue on there and just push it together and just see what happens, because I don't want to get it on the... So I'll just put it on that face and that face of the O-ring, so it's just on the two sides that are going to touch each other, and then I'm going to just get it here. I've got to try and... Right, they're touching each other. Breathe on a little bit. And moisture in the air is what sets super glue off. So there we go. We've kind of got, it's not the prettiest, but two O-rings. And now the hard thing will be is getting that over. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'll make another one. So that one there, it's still got quite a big split right through the middle of it, but I might be able to fill that up with a bit more super glue. And it's only got to get us 15 minutes down the road where they have a couple of O-rings, so I'll just put a bit more on that and let that dry. So that one there, whoop. Alright, that's that one. Let's try it again, do a second one. I'll fish that out of there. It's got super glue on it now. Let's wipe that off on there. No, I'd wipe it off on my fingers. Alright. There we go, that came out a lot easier. Alright, there we go, another O-ring. That wind's just blowing everything away. And sit them up there. That one was too short. I'll just sit it up there anyway. Alright, I've got to watch out for that because that's wet. Probably should have paid attention to how much I cut out of that last one. Alright, there. I'm going to say there. Let's push that together and see what that looks like. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, let's go and check on the battery, how it's charging. So 44 amps is going in there. So we're just getting some power out of the car batteries into the van. Alright, we need to join those two together. So do the same thing. I'll just put a little bit on that surface and then that surface. Push them together, breathe on it. Okay, same thing. We're going to have a little bit of a dodgy join just there. We'll put a little bit of super glue on that. This is starting to get a bit gluggy, which is actually good because it's sort of like super glue gel. Maybe that's something we might need later on, who knows, super glue gel. Alright, so I've got 2 O-rings there. They kind of look alright. So that one in the middle is the one that I took out. They're the 2 that I've just made up. Now I'm going to be patient and go and sit down for a little bit and just let them go off. I'll sit them out of the way so that they don't blow away, because they almost got blown away before. So I'll just sit that over them. Actually, I might even sit them in the sun a little bit. I'll bring them out here. So a little bit of warmth. Just sit them all out here. And the super glue stuck that to there, but that's okay. We're just going to sit that there. Like that. Let them get a bit of sun, dry properly. Then I'm going to put them down there, and hopefully we can make our way to the servo to go and get some proper O-rings. So I'm not expecting it to seal it up perfectly, but if it seals it up enough so that it doesn't pour fuel out, I'll be happy, and I'll just have to creep down the side of the highway just nice and peacefully. I don't want to get the motor under too much load. It's a 15-minute drive, so it's not too far to go, and just get there nice and peacefully without setting fire to it. One thing I will do is, and I already have it there ready to go, I've got a hose there. I know it's not the best thing to put out a fuel fire, but if it does catch a light under there, I would suspect that it's more the stuff around it that's on fire, like electrical things and bits of rubber and whatever else, and I don't want to even think about that. But if I'm prepared for it, then I'll have a plan, and the plan would be to obviously run down here, grab the hose. There's a water outlet there. I might even plug it in and have it totally hooked up and just coil the hose up on top of the gas tank, so that if something does happen, I can just grab the hose, turn it on, grab the hose, run around here, get Erika to pop the bonnet, and then I can spray water in there and cool it down and hopefully stop anything that happens. That's worst case scenario. Obviously I'm not even thinking that had happened, but if it did, then we've got a plan. And while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to take a look at the generator, because it turned itself off before, and it does use a bit of oil. It's not a very old machine, but sometimes you get a motor that uses oil. It's like the cars, sometimes they use oil. Maybe I need to try a different oil, but yeah, I'll just use this time to have a quick look at that, see what we can find in here. No, it's got plenty of oil. I don't know why it turned itself off. Maybe the fuel. Nice and black too. It probably needs an oil change. Might give that an oil change when we're at the caravan park at Seaforth, where Erika doesn't know that we're going. And this has got 284 hours on it. I bought that new before we went away last year, and that's done 284 hours. It's probably quite a bit, but last year when we were away, we used electric cooking for everything. So that was all our heating, cooking, internet, everything. And we did have solar though, but not like we do now. That's got 1,050 watts. I'll have to add them up again. It's around 1,000 watts up there. And I did change the batteries in this. I put the batteries that were in our setup last year are actually in the car. So there's 800 amp hours in the car, in the back, and a 70 amp charger plus the little bit of solar on the roof there. That's two 100 watt panels. They've been on there for about 3 years, and they're still doing really well. I put some anti-corrosion stuff on the rivets. They are glued down and just the rivets are a backup, but I probably should have done stainless steel. Would have been better bolts, rivets to put on there. And this one here, gotta love it, eh? Love seeing sticky tape on tail lights. But they're eBay, 250 bucks. That was actually a brand new light, and I had to turn around really sharp, and this came in and smashed in there as I went over a gut. I was looking too, but the trailer dropped down and it did that, and I figured it works. It's $250 when it's totally trashed and unrepairable. I'll do it then. I love my car, but that's just a memento. But we've got 200 amp hours. There's 3 200 amp hour batteries in there, and that should be enough. It did have 100 amp hour batteries in there, but they were pretty old. They were about 10 years old, and they were right down to about 80 amp hours, and we'd go through them pretty quickly with the aircon. That wouldn't run the aircon for more than 20 minutes. I think at the moment the aircon will run probably for about 6 hours with those batteries in there. And rightio, that's the power that I've just moved out of the car into the van from the solar panels. That should be enough. I'll go and have a look. It was sitting at 100% before. And it's now sitting at 95. So we put about 5% of the battery power from the car into the van. And here we go. So I'm going to chuck this on. Hopefully it's lined up all right so that we can see what's going on. But these O-rings that I made, so those two there are the ones I made. That's the one I made last night, and it's too fat. I couldn't get the connector on, so I'm going to get this one, even though it's got the horrible split in it that I don't like the look of, and I know it's going to leak, but hopefully it leaks less. So I'll put that on, and that's promising because it didn't come apart and it's on there. Let's get this one here and put it on there. A bit harder to get to that one. Okay, that one went on there. I really don't like those joins, but this is what we've been wrestling with. So these just go on here. I'm going to be really careful getting this on. Let's try and get it nice and square. I might actually go and get my torch. I wonder if I can lean through the window and get it. go. Grab that torch. Alright, so just so I can see really well, set that up there. Alright, there's our little O-ring. Now, those jaws, and this is where the problem is you can't quite see what's going on, but that's got to go over the O-ring. Okay, that went over, that's good. Now that's got a clip, it's got a clip down. Just kind of manoeuvre that around. It doesn't want to go on there that easy. Last night I pushed this other one down and bent a bit that it connects to, and oh yeah, there we go, it just went down. Okay, that's down. Now I'll just push that. There we go. Ooh, that's good. There's a bit of an O-ring down in there from last night. Alright, let's see if I can get this one on. Same thing. Just, oh, that went over easy. Okay. Same thing, give it a nice, there it goes, it just went down. Clip that down. Okay, well, fingers crossed. So I'll put those, oh, I just lost my toothpick. Hopefully Erika's got another one. So I'll put these back on, the injector leads. That's the, get that through there. So awkward working on this thing. Everything is in the way. Like, it's just spaghetti. There's just hoses everywhere. There's bits of wire everywhere. All right, well, that one's on. That one's on. All right, well, that actually sounded reasonably promising. That one's on. All right, well, I'm going to start it up, and I'm kind of expecting to see a little bit of a leak, but not a severe leak. Hopefully that'll get us down to the servo where I can get one that's not leaking. So let's start this up. Okay, it's running. Have a look in here. It's actually not leaking. Oh, a little bit. And that injector that I did, it's actually leaking down in that copper gasket that I put on. So I'm going to have to pull that out. But I'm going to get us down to the servo, and maybe that might settle down a little. That's really good. All right, well, I'm going to turn it off. We'll pack up and see if it's not leaking when we get down the road. I think I'll actually leave them the way they are, because if it's not leaking, then it's not leaking. And I have made O-rings like that before and got away with it. It means I'll still go and get the O-rings, but that's really good. I might just get the hose still ready with the, just in case we end up like yesterday when all the diesel went everywhere and it smoked up. I wasn't happy with that. I kind of freaked out. But all right, I'll go and let Erika know. I'll have a bit of a pack up here and we can make our way down to the servo to go and get some good O-rings. All right, today, look at the weather. It is perfect. Love it. This is so much fun. It just adds to the adventure. All right, let's pack up and hit the road. See how this goes. My mind is in concentrate mode.
Excellent, let's...
And pay attention. The only thing you need to know how to do is open that bonnet. Like, in all seriousness, if I need you to open the bonnet,
yep,
I need you to open it because there's a risk of fire and I'm totally set up for it. Okay. And I want to be able to say, babe, open the bonnet now, and it opens. One job.
That's my one job?
Out just a little bit.
Okay. Radio. I think she's comfortable.
Best seat in the house. It was actually really noisy here last night.
But I slept right through.
Yeah.
But I had earplugs in. So. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep.
Full steam ahead.